I think is a big story locally. Bad enough that the Dodgers lost a couple of games they probably should have won, but to lose Corey Seager for any experience, a lot of time is going to be heartbroken. Especially this guy just came back from two difficult surgeries: hip surgery, Tommy John surgery. He's 278, 359, 468, 8 home runs, 38 RBIs in 66 games. Now they're saying probably 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah,
that's
grade
devastating.
2.
Yeah,
grade 2 hamstring. This team just feels like they can handle that sort of thing. I mean, they've lost 3 out of 5, right? So they haven't scored a lot of runs in the last 5 games. And Seager was starting to come around. But again, they're 9.5 up, and I'm not too concerned about it. That's part of the flexibility of that lineup. Andrew Friedman has established, and it's the reason why he gives a higher value to a guy like Taylor and Kiki Hernandez, to guys like that. So who can play multiple positions, who can play at shortstop, and that they can, double switch or switch into the outfield. So, it doesn't help because he was starting to get pretty hot, right? And some of the other guys are on the way down. Bellinger hasn't been hitting especially well. Guys have learned he's missing pitches like he did last year, so it's looking a little grimmer there. We talked about whether that was sustainable, but for me, the Corey Seager thing, I think they'll be fine if more at bats for Taylor, which Roberts loves. To me, it's still about the bullpen, and we can talk about that later.
Yeah. Any comments?
No, I mean, it's kind of it's sad for Seager for, him to work, get back, to this point with it. But, I mean, I think with the cushion that they have in the division, I mean, I think it's just better at bats for Kike and Taylor. And, it's just kind of that next man up mentality. And I think, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't think they've got like you say, they've got a 9.5 game.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any.
No.
Yeah.
There's any worry there, really. I mean, it's just a tough situation for Seager after what he went through, battled back to get into the lineup and to start producing. He's a great player. Of course, he's their best shortstop. But like you say, I think they've got enough depth there to cover his loss.
Yeah, and the thing that's interesting to me is that the Dodgers can get very lefty heavy in their lineup, and so by mandatorily having to play a righty there, I think it changes some of the dynamics in that lineup for Roberts, and maybe some of the things that he didn't even notice were happening, because it's tough when when you got guys in there that are hitting that you don't want to take out just because you're facing a lefty. But when you face a lefty, it's nice to have a righty bat sometimes, and he won't take Seager out for those games except when he needs a breather. So I think that changes the dynamic a little bit. But again, neither Kike nor Taylor are hitting especially well. I mean, they're not tearing the cover off the ball. They could. They both are guys that are capable of getting hot. But for me, it's one of those things where I was hoping they could get to the All-Star break without a major injury, that they could sort of baby some of these relievers. And I still think that they'll have at least a 5-game lead by the All-Star break. But I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
And you'd rather have it now than, say, late August, early September,
exactly.
going